Hi, and welcome to Worldwide Drums. I hope this episode helps. Okay, our skin is out of the sink. It's nice and supple. It's wet. It's not drippy. It's ready to go. Our bearing edge is nice and cured a little bit there with some shea butter. Put our skin up there and center it. I usually reach under there so I can feel where it is. The most important part of this process, again, is the center of the spine. You can see the spine right through the goat skin there. It's a thicker, you can feel it's a ridge. And you want that right through the middle. I've tried different techniques of putting it off center, but I found that right in the middle works best. So we have the hair side up. So this side is shaven, there's no hair on it, but it is the hair side up. This is the inside of the skin. You can kind of see veins and a little bit of fatty tissue on there. It's centered on the drum, and our flesh ring goes right on the top. You don't want to be pushing that flesh ring down. You want to just leave it up at the top of the drum. It will eventually just get stretched down. So then the next step is just to fold that skin up over the flesh ring. And the trick here is to keep your ring in place. You can see it wants to push down, it wants to move around, but try to keep that ring in place. I hold it right where I want it, and I get all my skin up there. This is going to be an easy install because I have lots of goat skin to work with here. When you don't have that extra goat skin, it becomes more difficult and you have to use some other techniques and other tips. And I'm going to trim this down and redo it and show you what that's like. The next trick is to take your hoops and bend out those hoops, those rope hoops, so that they're more straight out. That way you can get your rope up through them when you're lacing it. So just work around, bending those up, and put the ring right on there. And we're good to go. Okay, so you saw me put on a nice big skin before, and it laid over there, and it was looked very simple. Sometimes you get skins that are smaller, and you can't just fold them over because they won't stay on there. So what you need to do after you have your flesh ring at the top is to put your retainer ring on there and use it to hold your skin down. And then what you do is, the key here is to keep these two rings sandwiched together. Don't let them slide off this way or that way. But this takes time, so just take your time, keep your rings together, and just keep working that skin up through there. And this is where soaking it for a good hour makes it easier, because you can see how supple this is. It's like putting a rag on your drum, and you're finished. You just pull out some of the excess, and don't overdo it. Just get it on the drum, and then you're good to go. The other trick that helps hold all this in place when you go to put your skin on is to get an old towel and soak it down, get it wet. This serves two purposes. It's going to help hold my skin in place, and it's going to keep the skin moist while I repair it. If it starts drying out, it gets harder to repair. So what I do is I just lay this towel up on top and get it all in the center of the drum, and now I can start lacing my drum with this rag here, and it kind of holds everything in place and keeps it from flipping around. Okay, so you saw me use the rag, and that is nice to hold the skin in place. There's another technique you can use which holds it more securely, and that is go around the skin, cutting slits in the folds. And what we're doing here is we're making some holes that we can then lace the skin right to the ring. So I'll just do a few of these. You know, it really doesn't take much, but this is a pretty handy little trick. Basically you're just sewing the skin to the ring. And just work back and forth. No particular pattern. You just want something that you can use to secure that skin so it doesn't fall off while you're trying to lace the drum. When I do drums, I don't do any of this. I just be very careful when I lace the drum, and I've gotten to a point where I don't ever pull the skin off. It just stays put, and you can try that as well, but this does work pretty well.